Sorry, I had to zoom out. Hey guys, it's Grip out here practicing. And I'm sure this time of year, we're all getting our practice time in. And I'm sure we are wearing out that 20 and 30-yard shot. And some of you might be out here dropping 70-yard bombs like that one. And if so, that's great. More power to you. But what if you had to be pinpoint accurate at 3 yards? Do you know how to pull that one off? The answer might surprise you. Stay tuned and find out. So I got the idea for this video from the Dust Off, which was the 3D shoot that I was running at the Mobile Hunter Expo just last weekend in Wilmington, Ohio. If you missed it, it's a great event. It was our first 3D shoot that we had tied to the expo. We plan to have one next year, so if you are interested, stay tuned to the channel, and there will be more information forthcoming. But while we were setting this shoot up, Chris, the CEO, Chris Leppert, was walking around watching and supervising as I was setting targets and getting the shooting line set and everything. And we got to talking about the ranges, and we decided that we wanted to put one up close. And I looked at Chris and I said, "You mean close, 3 yards close?" And he says, "Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know how to handle that." I said, "All right, you may shoot." So we grabbed the Fox target and I moved it up to about 3, maybe 3.5 yards away, and we let it play out. And Chris was right. There were quite a few people who did not know how to handle that kind of shot. So here's what happens. People walk up and they see that target at 3 yards and they think 3 yards is closer than 20 yards. So my 20-yard pin is going to be high. I need to hold low with my 20 so that I don't overshoot. Or they think my bow's so flat that I'm just going to shoot it for 20 and I should hit right on. It doesn't work that way. And here's why. Before we actually reveal the tricks of the trade, let's talk a little bit about the line of sight and the trajectory of your arrow. So I'll put this picture up, and I may be a decent archer, but I am a horrible artist. And this is not my drawing. I stole this from the internet, but it works. So here's the physics behind it. Number one, when you go to shoot, right, your arrow is below your eye. And so that means it starts below your line of sight. Your line of sight naturally is totally flat from eyeball to target. It is totally flat. Now we all know that our arrows fly in a parabolic arc. You know, they go up and then they go down. But what happens is, because your arrow starts below your eye, when you shoot, say you're shooting at 20 yards and your 20-yard pin is on the target, your arrow will go up and cross your line of sight before 20 yards. It will actually go over your line of sight, and then it will cross your line of sight at 20 yards. So when you shoot a 3-yard target or 4-yard target, and you just hold your 20 right on it and shoot, you hit low. And the reason is that arrow hasn't had a chance to come up and cross your line of sight yet before it hits the target. I even told a couple of the guys this at the shoot. They were going, oh, I don't know. I've never practiced that. So what do I do? I guess just hold my 20 on it. And I said, you guys have never done that before? I said, no. And I said, look at this practice bail here. I said, step back to about 3 or 4 yards. They did. And I said, now, you got a slider? Yeah. I said, dial that to about 45, 46 yards. And he looked at me. He said, what? I said, yeah, just try it. So he reluctantly, he dialed his slider to about 45, 46 yards. And I said, shoot at that center bowl. Boom. And he drilled it. I wish I had this part videoed. He turned and looked at me, just totally disbelief. I said, yeah, I told you. So I gave him a quick explanation. So this is simply what you do. You have a 3-yard target, dial it for 45 or 50 yards, and your setups will vary. One person shoots a 3-yard target for 45. It may not hit, a 12 ring, but the next person will be right on it. So you might have to dial it to 50. Someone else might shoot it for 55. It all kind of depends on how high or low your anchor point is, and the speed of your bow, and the tune, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of variables, but the point is you should try it. So now I know I could probably demonstrate, and I could go outside, and I could put the camera on the target and shoot the 3-yard target with my 20-yard pin, and then I could flip over and have some image, this blurry image of me dialing my sight down and shooting the target, and then hitting the 12 ring and whatever. Number one, as I'm sure many of you will point out, that can easily, with the magic of editing, can be faked. And number two, you can't see through my peep sight and what I'm looking at anyway. So here's the point where I will say, pause the video and go try it. I'll wait on you. Well, what'd you find out? Told you. Your 3-yard shot, you're probably dead on if you dial it 45, maybe 50 yards, maybe even more. You might have to shoot it for 55. And a 5-yard target, you could probably shoot it for 40. As you back up and you get closer to 20 yards, that difference will shrink. And so at 15, you probably shoot that for 20, because it's going to cross and drop in right about at that same spot. So the key is you have to go find out for yourself if you want to know how to be pinpoint accurate at point blank range. So if you've ever shot through paper, if you've ever paper tuned, and you have actually aimed at a spot and you still had your 20-yard pin set, or you were using your 20-yard pin, or you had your slider dialed to 20, you might have noticed that you hit low from where you're aiming. And maybe you never really thought about it, but that's the reason why. Your arrow, again, below your line of sight, it has not crossed by the time it hits the target. So obviously, if you're out west and you're elk hunting and your buddy's calling from behind and a big bull comes charging in and stands broadside at 3 yards, you could probably put all of your pins on him and shoot him and kill him. But maybe you're sitting there and you hear something coming and you draw back, and here comes a coyote charging in, and he stops right in your face at 3 yards, and you're just holding right on him. And you're thinking, I need to put one right in his brain. Well, now you got to know what to do. And of course, if you're at a 3D shoot and somebody puts a target at 3.5 yards, now you know how to take care of that situation. So there you go. Hopefully that will help you the next time you're presented with that in your face, point blank, 2, 3, or 4 yard shot. So thanks guys for watching. As always, I appreciate the views and the subscriptions. I've started a new deal with Boning Archery. If you are interested in purchasing any of the Boning products, I'm now an affiliate with Boning. And if you're going to go purchase something, if you use my link at shop.boning.com /AFMC =2Y. If you use that link, don't worry, I'll put it down in the description. But if you use that link when you go to Boning to buy, whether it's vanes, glue, points, fletching jigs, whatever it is you're going to buy, then that will help out my channel. So just remember, if you're headed to Boning to go buy any of their products, use this link. It costs you nothing, but it will support the Grips Archery channel. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you later.